Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Fearless Generations with Terry Sayer and Kelly Fox.
Hello and welcome to Fearless Generations, 12 Steps to Freedom. This is Kelly Fox, and I am super excited. We are doing Step 6, Present Moment, and it is the first Monday of the month, and so it is Introduction Night, which means anything goes. So we are excited to get into this, start talking about present moment. What does it mean? What does it look like? What does it feel like? So let me bring on my beautiful co-host, Terry Sayer. How are you doing tonight, Terry?
I am doing amazing. Thank you so much.
Ooh, amazing. That sounds good. Mm-hmm. Well, good. We have a great guest coach on tonight. She's been on the show before. She's one of our faves. We love her tons. So please welcome Dionetta Hudzinski.
Yay, you said it correctly.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hi, everybody. And glad to be here.
We are glad to have you. So please, Dionetta, introduce yourself to the listeners. Tell us what you get to do and who you get to serve.
Well, I am a life coach, fearless living life coach, and I get to serve women, especially nurses, who are actively working and dealing with burnout.
Mm-hmm.
Right
so
now.
Important. Huh?
Yeah, I said it's a big thing right now.
Oh, yes. I'm sure it is. Very grateful for our nurses who have been going above and beyond for the last few years.
Mhm. Yeah.
For sure. So, Dionetta, we are talking present moment. So, what does that mean to you?
So, being present means being fully engaged and immersed in the here and now. It's a focus on where we are and what we're doing right now. And I found a quote from Eckhart Tolle that I think it says a lot.
Okay.
So he says, now, the most precious thing. Time isn't precious at all because it's an illusion. What you perceive as precious is not time, but the one point that is outside of time, the now. That is precious indeed. The more you are focused on time, the past, and the future, the more you miss the now, the most precious thing there is. And I thought that's exactly it.
Love it.
The more we focus in the past or in the future, we miss the now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's precious
and
important.
Absolutely. Everything happens right now. That's all.
Exactly.
That's all we really know, because the past is perceived through filters, and the future is always changing. So we're making it all up, but right now is what is real.
Mm-hmm.
Right now is what is happening. And we still have our filters in the way that we see it, but it's happening right now.
Right. And it's the only thing that we have control over. is the present moment. We have no control over the past. It's gone. We can't change it. And we have no control over the future.
Right. Well, we can control the future somewhat by what we do right now.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I actually had something, where was it? It had to do with the future.
Well, while you're looking for that, Terry, what are your feelings about the quote that Dionetta shared?
I just really have learned in my life that it is the present moment. It's the present moment that counts, right? That's where we live our life. The future we don't know, but we do know this moment. And that, for me right now, just thinking about all of this is because it kind of, living in the present moment also means detaching from specific outcomes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what the future is, thinking about the outcome. And different scenarios that have come up in the last couple months, I've thought, I wish I could control what the outcome is, and here's all the different possibilities that it could be. But in reality, I have no control over any outcome at all. I only have control over this moment that I'm living right now. And then in a few minutes, that moment's going to be gone too, and I'll have to make another choice. I was listening to on the way home from, I was at Dinuba in a leadership meeting, and I was driving home. It takes me about a half an hour to drive home, and I was listening to a book about choice and how it really kind of relates to Viktor Frankl's book, A Man's Search for Happiness, and Carrie Ten Bloom's book about her experiences in the concentration camp. And this particular book is called The Choice, and it's written by a woman who also lived through the Holocaust. And what comes out of those pieces of writing is that you have absolute control over your moment. The moment, the things you think, the words you say, the actions you take, your mindset at that moment. And that's all you have control over. And no one can take that away from you. So these individuals that lived through and survived a concentration camp experience, that's what got them through, was being in the moment. Not what was going to happen if a guard came into the barracks, not what was going to happen the next day, but what was happening right now, and what's the choice I'm making about how I'm going to feel, how I'm going to think, what kind of faith I'm going to have, and what I'm going to practice at this moment. And I think it just keeps coming back to me that this concept of not being able to control the outcomes of situations and scenarios and contexts that we get ourselves into or, evolve around us, but we do completely 100% control how we react. And that's made me be less judgmental of myself and others. And it's helped me to surrender, which are other steps in our 12 steps to freedom. And in my context is to surrender to the will of God, because in my context, in my life, He has a plan for me, and I have no control over that. I only can control my thoughts in the moment. And so it's just become it's always synergy in my life that this happens to be the experience that I've been having, as well as the step that we're going into for this month, because it's been something that's been so on my mind, is how I can take action in the moment to follow the plan by having faith and doing those things that I value. So that's what I.
That's good. I like that, and I like Viktor Frankl, and he has a lot to say about staying in the moment. Yeah. So I found.
Dionetta, did you find the thing?
Yes, it's dreaming about the future is only productive when combined with actions taken in the present moment.
Yeah.
So we can dream about the future, but it's only productive when we combine it with actions that we're taking right now. So if we're just dreaming but not taking action, it's not really productive. Yeah. So did you know that there's no failure in the present moment, just lessons?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we don't get to beat ourselves up for doing it right, because there is no right way. There's no failure, no right way. You do it your way. And being gentle with yourself. I think that's really important, is to really be gentle and compassionate with yourself.
That's where those three basic tenets of fearless living is compassion, honesty, and personal responsibility, and all of that towards ourselves and others takes place in the present moment, right? Give ourselves a break, have for ourselves, have grace for others, tell the truth, and be real, and then take action based upon, with compassion overriding it, and being true to yourself and to others. So I think those three basic foundational principles of fearless living can be applied to every step. Every time we have the opportunity to make a choice, every time we make a decision of, in the present moment, it can be supported by those three principles.
And did you want to say something?
I was going to ask you a question.
Okay.
When you're working with your clients and you see that they're challenged with being in the present moment, what do you do for them, or ask them to do for themselves to get them to get more in that present moment?
Well, I just came up on this with a client this past week, and he kept going to the past. He kept referring to the past, and we've talked about it, that, he can't change the past, and, what's happening right now. So what are you feeling right now? And this past week, we were talking about the wheel of freedom and the wheel of fear and how they integrate and how you can jump from one to the other. And he began to tell me about his experience in the past. And I just kind of let him go, because I really hadn't listened to what he had said in the past. I always tried to bring him to the present moment. And suddenly I had the aha moment of, no wonder he feels the way he does. No wonder he feels not enough, inadequate. So we kind of then began to talk about how that past really is influencing him in the present moment. So I was able to bring him back to the present moment, but I really needed to listen to what he had to say about the past. He's not living there, but he kept referring to it. And sometimes he uses it as an excuse. But once I was able to listen, then I was able to move him forward.
Yeah.
So sometimes the past has a play in what's going on in the present moment, how we're feeling.
Yeah. So you're told with
don't want to live there, don't want to dwell there, but it's sometimes important to know how that influences how you feel in the present.
Mhm. So opening your awareness around what keeps taking you to the past, so that you can have that awareness as you're living in the present moment.
Yes. Yes.
And how has that supported him now?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's like night and day, because he was able to talk about how that influenced him right now, with his current wife. His last has been with his ex, well, she died, not his ex-wife, but his former wife, because he could never do anything that was good enough. Therefore, it spilled over into the present, where he's feeling inadequate and not knowing how to love himself, how to love others. And so we spent a lot of time on that. And by the end of our session, it was amazing, just amazing, because he's not one to get into his feelings. So we were able to really dig down into those feelings. And when I asked him at the end, what feeling are you feeling right now? What feeling word would you use? And he said, evolving.
Awesome.
And I said, exactly. I said, you are evolving. And I am so happy that you're able to express your feelings, and explain.
Well, yeah, and you can only evolve in the present moment, right?
Exactly. But he kept going back to the past, and now we can move forward. Now we've got what the lesson is from the past. And I think that's something to understand is, number one, the present moment, being in the present moment, is a skill that we can learn, and it can strengthen over time. And the things that are from the past are the lessons. The things that we bring into the present moment are the lessons from the past, so we don't repeat the past.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. So
Terry,
yeah.
Terry, do you have something you'd like to share about that?
Well, yeah, I think I was also, when I was listening to this book on the way home today, I was talking a lot about, you can't just say, forget your past. You need to deal with your past. You need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive others. You need to feel the feelings that come from, the experiences that you've had in your past. You can't just stuff your past either, just like stuffing your feelings. So it's like, it's happened, yeah. So there's a degree of not reliving it or letting it make your choices for you now in this moment. But, it's almost like honoring it, right? Because you wouldn't be where you are if you hadn't lived that past. So just really being able to understand, like you said, be aware, understand, and then, not asking why did this happen to me, but now what? Now what?
Yeah.
And that's what you're asking yourself in the present moment. Well, now what? Yeah, I lived this. This is part of me. This was my, why I'm here today. Now what? not why did that happen to me? Why did I have to go through that? So you don't ask the question why. The question is what now?
Yeah. Because I think a big thing is awareness. Awareness is key to being skilled at staying in the present moment. Is being aware of when our mind wanders either to the future or to the past, and having awareness of, what do I feel? What is this bringing up? What lesson do I learn, or did I learn from this? How do I bring this to the present moment and who I am right now?
Yeah. Feeling underneath the, that returning to the past. What is the feeling? What is the need? And then saying, okay, well, now the present moment, what's next? Because we'll get stuck if we go back in the past and we try to relive it. That's not it. We want to honor what we've learned from it, the lessons that we've learned from it, the way it's helped us to grow as a person, so that we're in this moment now where we can make choices based upon what we're feeling at the moment, what we're experiencing at the moment, who we're interacting and connecting with at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, another thing is by accepting the present moment, our reality in the now, without avoiding the hurtful parts or the painful parts, we really begin to create space and energy to acknowledge the negative and to move and enjoy the positive. And until we do that, it's, like you said, honoring the past, honoring those painful parts, actually gives us more space and energy for the now.
Being fully present in the moment that you're given. I find that when I'm a little distracted, that something that can support me in getting back into the present moment is paying attention, really, I can't think of the word, but like focusing in on what's going on around me. So what can I see? What are the littlest details? What am I smelling? What am I tasting? What am, engaging my senses. And that really brings me back to what is going on right now. And there's been moments in my life where I've done that. I've taken the time to really get focused in that moment, really remember that moment, and I still remember those moments. I can put myself back in that situation and remember, even though it was a really long time ago. So, when we're having those really special moments, taking the time to really engage all of our senses so that we can really remember those precious moments, those moments that brought us joy, those moments that brought us laughter, where we felt really loved, really living and being, fully in that moment. And then when we find ourselves distracted or overwhelmed or whatever, taking ourselves back to being in our body, breathing, paying attention to what's going on, what is right in front of us, and letting all of that distraction or overwhelm go. Because we can only do one thing at a time. And right now we're going to focus on this one thing. And so I find that being in the present moment is a really powerful thing.
Yes. Yeah. And when we think of the present moment and we think of mindfulness, it's not about stopping your mind from wandering. It's learning how to gently call your mind back to the present moment and build good habits.
Yeah.
For your mental health and well-being.
Yeah. Dionetta, I have loved having you here. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and sharing all of your wisdom and experience with us. We want to give you a moment to share with the audience where they can find you, how they can get a hold of you, if they're a nurse or someone who is in that type of field and they want to reach out to you. Where would they go?
Well, they can go on Facebook, and I have a group that is called Help for the Helpers, Choose Differently Life Coaching, or they can look at my name, Dionetta Hudzinski. Look that up. And I have a free gift for anybody that is listening in or who might listen to the replay. And all they have to do to get that is to PM me, private message me on Facebook, or email me at choosedifferentlydmh@gmail.com. And I'll put that in a post in the Fearless Generations group page so that they can find that.
Fabulous. Put that on the page and in the group so that everybody can see it, because free gifts are always fun. So
yeah,
definitely want to thank you for that, and appreciate you wanting to serve our audience even further. We want to remind you all that the 12 Steps to Freedom were created by Rhonda Britton, the CEO and founder of the Fearless Living Institute. If you'd like to know more about Fearless Living, please go to fearlessliving.org, and you can find out everything that you want to know, not everything, but a lot, about what you want to know about Fearless Generations at fearlessgenerations.org. You can see all of the workshops we have going on this year, our group program that focuses on these 12 steps, and you can also find a lot of our guest coaches there as well. And so please go there. We have a workshop this Saturday. If you'd like to know more about that, please message me in Facebook or email me at kelly@fearlessgenerations.org, and I can get you all of the information on that. We would love to have you there. We're going to be talking about fear. That's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be teaching you all about fear and how it specifically affects you. So we thank you all for being here with us tonight. Terry, any last words?
No, just thank you so much, Dionetta, for being with us. I just always appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Time went by so fast.
It does, doesn't it? So everybody just be fearless.
30 minutes. Yes, everyone, we thank you for being here. Please come back and join us. Share the podcast with your friends. We love to support as many people as possible, and we could always have the support of you to get our support out there further. So thank you, everyone, and until we meet next time, be fearless.
Be fearless. Bye-bye.
Be fearless. Bye-bye.